For over 3 millennia, the Nile Valley stood as one of humanity's greatest achievements. At its heart were the pharaohs, rulers who claimed to be both kings and gods. But a question continues to echo through time. Who were they truly? Were the pharaohs Egyptians? Were they Africans? To answer, we return to where it all began, the river that gave life to Egypt itself. The word pharaoh comes from the ancient Egyptian per-ah, meaning great house. Originally it referred to the royal palace, the physical home of power, but later it came to represent the ruler himself. To Egyptians, the pharaoh was far more than a monarch. He was the living embodiment of divine order, the son of the sun god Ra, entrusted to uphold Ma'at, truth, balance, and justice. This belief echoes a wider African idea of sacred kingship rulers as spiritual guardians rather than mere politicians. Across the continent, leadership carried a cosmic duty to maintain harmony between people, nature, and the ancestors. More than 5,000 years ago, small communities thrived along the fertile banks of the Nile. Seasonal floods turned desert into farmland, attracting people from the African interior, from regions that are today Sudan and Ethiopia. Two distinct regions emerged, Upper Egypt in the south and Lower Egypt in the north. Around 3100 BCE, a southern king named Narmer, also known as Menes, unified them into one kingdom, creating the world's first long-lasting nation-state. Early art and pottery revealed deep connections with Nubia, Egypt's southern neighbor. Their symbols, burial customs, and deities shared a common African origin. From this union, the Egyptian identity was born, rooted in Africa's soil and spirit. Ancient Egyptians called their land Kemet, the Black Land. The name referred to the dark soil left by the Nile's floods, and, in a broader sense, to the people themselves. Tomb paintings and statues depict Egyptians with rich brown tones and features consistent with the diversity found along the Nile corridor. Greek historian Herodotus described them as black-skinned and woolly-haired. Geographically and culturally, Egypt was African. Its trade routes stretched south toward Nubia and Punt, not north to Europe. Its gods, languages, and customs evolved from African roots, later influencing the Mediterranean world. During the Old Kingdom, between 2600 and 2100 BCE, pharaohs commissioned monuments that, honestly, just defy time. The pyramids of Giza. Built under Khufu, Khafra, and Menkaure, these structures required tens of thousands of skilled workers, engineers, and artists. Contrary to those older myths, they were not slaves, but organized laborers who believed their work served a sacred purpose. Each pyramid was a spiritual pathway designed to guide the king's soul to the stars. Their mathematical precision and astronomical alignment reveal a mastery of science that was born from generations of observation along the Nile. It was African innovation at a monumental scale. At the heart of Egyptian belief was Ma'at, truth, order, and balance. Every pharaoh swore to uphold it. If he failed, the world would slide into Isfet, chaos. This moral code extended beyond Egypt. In West Africa, Ifa divination maintained harmony. In Central Africa, councils of elders sought equilibrium between humans and the spiritual world. Egypt's expression of this principle, through justice, architecture, and ritual, was simply the most enduring. The idea that leadership carried divine responsibility became one of Africa's greatest contributions to civilization. South of Egypt lay Nubia, rich in gold and cattle. For centuries, Egypt and Nubia traded, fought, and intermarried. When Egypt declined around 1000 BCE, Nubia rose in strength, forming the Kingdom of Kush. By 750 BCE, the Kushite king Pharaoh marched north, and reunited Egypt under his rule. He and his successors, Shabaka, Shabitku, and Taharka, formed the 25th dynasty, often called the Black Pharaohs. They restored temples, revived ancient rituals, and ruled a vast stretch of the Nile from Sudan to the Mediterranean. Their pyramids still stand in modern-day Sudan, silent evidence that the throne of Egypt once returned to its southern African source. After the Kushite era, Egypt fell to Assyrians, Persians, and eventually the Greeks under Alexander the Great. The later Ptolemies, including Cleopatra VII, adopted Egyptian titles and gods, but their ancestry was Macedonian Greek. The long line of native pharaohs had ended, yet the spirit of Egypt endured. Its philosophy spread southward, influencing Nubia, Aksum, and later kingdoms across the continent. From the Nile to Timbuktu, echoes of Ma'at, truth, balance, and sacred order, shaped Africa's understanding of power and morality. So, were the pharaohs truly African? Yes. Their civilization rose from Africa's river, its soil, its people. Their art and language carried the same heartbeat that still pulses through the continent today. The pyramids of Giza are not just monuments to kings, they are monuments to African genius, to a worldview that saw no divide between science and spirit. Egypt was never apart from Africa. It was Africa's first great light. Subscribe to Journey Through Africa to uncover more hidden stories.